Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. Our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, anywhere you could hear us because of technology and the internet and social media, welcome to our program. The number to call is 442-0175. You can use your long line or WhatsApp, and you can give us a call. Any method you use, this technology has provided a wide range of options for us, and we have a democratic process. We have freedom galore of the press, and that helps our democracy. It helps to strengthen our democracy and encourage individuals to walk a good straight line. Welcome to our program. We're on RealFM 91.9. We're on YouTube and Facebook. And we encourage you to share our program, subscribe, and like the program. Share it. This morning, while I await your call, I'm making a plea to the Minister Lennox Andrew. I think one of his portfolios is the Minister of Agriculture. Mr. Andrew have a good background from the lower socioeconomic strata. He knows what it is to be poor. If he forgets, you just have to go home and ask his mother. You see, we have a situation where an individual felt she was taken advantage of. Great injustice has been done to her. She has been provided with a piece of land from government. And the parliamentary representative from Maribor decided to take back the land from her. I think the right word might be rescind. The individual paid for the plan to survey the land. And she may continue to make payments. But because of serious social challenges in Maribor, she had to leave this community. So the area might have been neglected, not abandoned. But she continued to make payments for her land, hoping that one day she will be able to put a house on it. The parliamentary representative then rescinded the authority, take back the land in local parlance. And the individual walked from the post office that she visited many occasions, the Inland Revenue, the Ministry of Lands and Survey, Agriculture. When she visited, she had to make an appointment to see who in charge. Several occasions in each department. Then she ended up back in the hands of the parliamentary representative, who she realized this was the individual who rescinded the order. What was most heartbreaking and sad, the victim and the parliamentary representative sat on the same bench in primary school. The very school called the Comforter, where Maurice Bishop went in to do damage control and promised the people of the community they could grow weed. He said, don't cut down your cocoa and nutmeg, but you could grow weed. You see, the minister and that individual perhaps were the two poorest people in that school. Because in that community, you have a lot of big wage. Maurice Bishop never went to Montreach, Montrule, or Tivoli to do damage control. But he felt it utter necessary to go to the Holy Comforter, because in that area we have a lot of big grudge. The individual was shocked, and the parliamentary representative promised that they would get another piece of land. Juk Jody. All attempt failed. The individual went to lawyers, 2 of them. But after they heard the case, they said this is a hard case to win and you don't have money to fight that case. She was told by one legal luminary, you don't have money to fight that case. She paid for the survey and she continued to pay periodically. She has some of the receipts. Some of them was lost in the Great Fire. But she have several receipts from government. The parliamentary representative have those receipts. So I appeal to you, Mr. Lennox Andrew. I beg you, for even this one good you do to this ordinary rustic, please help her. I understand you have a very good working relationship with the parliamentary representative from Maribor. The very said parliamentary representative that sat on the same bench in the comforter with this individual. The very said parliamentary representative that rescinded the authority. The very said parliamentary representative that promised to give her another piece of land. The very said parliamentary representative that abandoned her schoolmate. So I beg you, Mr. Lennox Andrew, the parliamentary representative have all the record, all the receipts, even the receipt that she received from paying the surveyor to survey the land, the parliamentary representative have it. Mr. Lennox Andrew, you know if you have to go to the Ministry of Agriculture, this thing will take Lanel Canel. So hold dialogue with the parliamentary representative. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, I want us to talk today a little more about leadership and the value. And I want us to look at Dr. Mitchell. He did great. If you look, you see only plus. But there is a time, Mr. Pierre, we have to move on. I go back and I'm checking, and I get Thomas signal from Dr. Mitchell that he's going to move on. When he say he's going to move on, Sister Delma, Thomas, all of them tell him don't go nowhere. But right now, I don't believe in my heart that Dr. Mitchell wants to guide the party. To me, I felt Dr. Mitchell wanted to continue running the party. And I had a bad experience as a kid when I hear my parents talk about Eric Gary. He had the party in a way that Gary, anytime Gary gone, the party gone. And he proved they was right. And right now, if we don't have a convention within the first half of this year, and let the people decide, because that's what Dr. Mitchell told me, let the people decide who they want, not him. Although we tried to bring in Akima Paul, you know, he didn't take in part, but he was going around campaigning in a secret way for Akima Paul. You understand? And I'm not saying she's a bad person. But Doc, you had told us that you were not taking part. When I say you are the leader of the party, you should take part. He didn't want to do that. But now, We have two people in the party who might be the leaders, Evelyn Pierre and Peter David. Is either one of them. We have nobody else. So we must make a decision. You know, the people must come together and have a convention and decide who they want to rule them. Because Dr. Mitchell is only there to guide us. And if Dr. Mitchell only is trying to see if he could get in there to run again, we will lose the next election. Because a new generation of people we're dealing with, Doc. Don't end up like Gary. Help the party. Do not hurt the party in the long run. You did enough. You could walk out there with your head high. You're going to guide us so we could go forward. But do not try to come back in the arena, Doc. Because I know that is what this failed party we have running now, in government now, is waiting on. For you to shove back your head inside it. So, Doc, please, listen, Doc, and give it up. Let someone new take over the party so we could hit them 15-0 again. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Okay, caller, thank you. The caller said he wanted to talk about leadership and value. He went after Eric Gary. Eric Gary won election. Eric Gary was one of the first individual that called election early. When he had challenges at that time with Miss Nadia Benjamin and Whipple, he called election early. And he won. The two most democratic individual ever led Grenada was Eric Matthew Gary and Kit Mitchell. The opposition against Gary was out of the world. I don't know how individuals could say Gary won election on, I think, 3 occasions, 13 and a half years. He was overthrown. They couldn't beat Gary in the polls. He was overthrown. And post-1983, he got 36% thereabout of the vote cast. Irrespective of 4.5 years of the revolution, the United States and other Caribbean countries, and rightly so, encourage the parties to work together because they could not have beat Gary. We want to talk about leadership or we want to manage democracy. It's two different things. We could speak about leadership in Grenada, and the only two leaders in Grenada that have won election continuously is Eric Gary and Kit Mitchell. The NNP under Kit Mitchell beat the National Democratic Congress on 3 occasions, winning all these seats, breaking all record in the Caribbean and the Commonwealth. Is it a question of Kit Mitchell's age? Or is it a question of Kit Mitchell indicated that could be his last? One have to have grounds when we argue in this case, because it can't be a question of his age. Because the record would show throughout the Caribbean and in the world, we have leaders elder than him. If it's a question that he indicated that he wouldn't run again, that is an issue. But I would encourage all of them. Let the democratic process take place. Who win, win. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Go right, yes, scholar, go right ahead.
Them in America, they tell him to stay there and campaign for himself and leave Grenadian let them make the
Yeah, but we have to encourage dialogue.
So, but tell him that we going to do
What is your contribution on that issue?
My contribution is we're going to do our convention and choose as leader.
But the individual was saying he believed that the NNP should have the convention.
Yes.
And a lot of people is saying that too.
What he's saying, Mr.
If Dr. Mitchell intends to run again, nothing's wrong with that. If other people intend to run, he could have 4 or 5 people competing.
Yeah, yes.
And within the NNP, I am convinced that anyone who win the convention and lead the party would do a better job than Dick Mitchell. Anyone, whether it is Emlyn Pierre, Peter David, Miss Modest, Kate Lewis, Yolan Bain, Oliver Joseph, any one of them would do much better than this vulture group that we have.
I agree to all that.
That go after the elderly, that deny them from the housing project, that prepare to use bribery and money to influence individuals. Any one of them, members of the NNP, should have no fear.
Listen, Mr. Pierre.
That any one of them is more capable than Dick Mitchell.
Listen, Mr. Pierre. I agree to all that. But with the condition that this country is right now, we can't put no new leader there now.
Let the democratic process take the place. Do not manage democracy. Let the democratic process take place. Who will win?
2 years or 3 years, and then we choose a new
Caller, who will win?
We have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
That is my thinking. Leave Dr. Mitchell there, and we'll do what we have to do. Give him a 2 years, and then we'll make a decision to move. But also now, with the condition of the country, we have to leave him there to take the country from where it is in that dungeon to bring it forward. That is my condition. I don't say that we are a leader, you know, but all of them should get together and see the reality where we was the last election. In the pressure where we had no money and Dr. Mitchell bring it forward. I think that the only person could do that right now.
Okay,
thank you, sir.
I always believe that sometimes we want to manage this democracy too much. If you have a convention and you have anybody who wants to contest the leadership, should be encouraged to contest the leadership and let the people decide. That is what would make your democracy strong. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, prior to 2021 October of that year, 2021 October, NDC was basically leaderless, right? They had an interim leader in the name of Mr. Thomas. Now, there was not a convention to get rid of Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas was told not to contest. He was told in the convention didn't come and he was there to put himself for leadership.
He was
then came, you understand? Right? So what we have here is 2 different levels of fish we have here. We have one where a sitting prime minister, incumbent prime minister was there. He lost the election, right? Convention supposed to be held, yes, we know, right? But for conventions to be held, people have to understand, and especially supporters and members of the party. Remember, I'm talking to 2 people here, supporters and our members. You have to have your branch offices organized, your branch division organized. All of these things has to be organized. What has happened after an election, when you lose election, is what is dangerous. You people lose hope, you get despondent, and you disband your group, and you just go all your merry way. So what will happen is that it will be kind of difficult to get back everybody intact. But the machinery is there. Hence the reason why you are seeing the local meetings, the local branch meetings going on, and you're seeing the different MPs, and you might see prospective caretakers candidates. What is supposed to happen? We're supposed to edify ourselves and get to know and get involved in the process of getting ourselves registered to the party, 2, get your ID cards or whatever you have to get registered, make sure you're on the list, and get involved with the party's work. That's the only how conventions can be held. Conventions can't be held if these branch divisions are not organized. The leader of the party is not the person that is saying when it's convention, is we that is saying when it's a convention. We the prospective delegates, we the prospective observers. We have to understand what it takes to enable us to be viable in the next election, right? Mr. Pierre, what we are seeing here, in the world today, we are seeing dynamics in politics, right? If you look at the 2020 elections in America, they elect the oldest president in the history of America, and these two women, in my view right now, like it or not, none of them in my view right now is either good for America right now.
You see
and these two men.
You see the issue. If the
these
people
two men
elect the people, why you could say they're not good for America?
but electing them, the two policies that these two guys have is basically bad for America, because like America have a young population.
But Mr. Man, like
well, you understand?
I support a lot of
but you know the
policies.
So I'm trying to shift, because these two guys have different policies on everything. Like, for instance, the Republican senators, Biden passed some laws where you're getting some loans, PPE loans for relief after the COVID. There were Republican senators who got these loans to, they had a little business and they built back themselves. Biden tried to pass that law for the citizens, and the same Republican senators vote no against it. That's hypocrisy. And that is what we see happening here in Grenada. We are seeing things happening here. We turn a blind eye to it. Like I mentioned yesterday again, I saw this minister of Carriacou. He went on a program and he basically was fighting with the horse. And it took me back also to the then leader of the NDC in the name of Nazim. He was on a program with a female host. And he was asked questions, as journalists have right to do, and he attacked the journalists. And I'm sure people could remember that. Let me tell you something. Get your act together. Stop the hypocrisy. Stop the biasness, because right now what we're seeing, they say, faith organization, they take money as the government and Miss Emily Pierre. They call the lady name, they call her all kind of name. But nobody in calling about nation builders. Nobody in calling Andy and Lennox Andrews and all these boys are going to GDP. Nobody in calling and Justin Menard and Patrick Simmons on this board. Nobody in calling all of these things that you're seeing happening in plain sight. And nobody have a problem with it. I have a problem with it for the hypocrisy. Mr. Pierre, Mr. Andrews in Cuba right now, you have a good afternoon.
Yes, caller, thank you. And caller, more and more, you're going to hear people speaking about NNP and the convention. Remember, the majority of people that speaking about that would not be members of the NNP per se. They may be supporters, they may be NDC supporters, there may be people in Wonderland, there may be people that want to join NNP. But NNP supporters have to understand that more and more you're going to hear people speaking about the convention, the leadership, whether Doc running again, whether Doc not running, who is the leadership? And you all have to be tolerant to this discussion. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, sir. Good.
I want to deal with this call. I want to talk about telling World Boss, don't do like Gary. What Gary do? Gary was overthrowing a revolution, but Mr. Man, get your facts right when you come on radio. When you come on radio, get your facts right. A man never too old to learn, a man never too old to lead.
I agree with you on that. Uncle Gary was overthrown.
Was overthrown? Yeah. So the man come talking there. Mr. Man, get your facts right. Right? When you come on radio and talk, remember, Grenada full of politicians. So get your facts right. Keep me tell in last election, I say, World Boss, when you're asking for one for the road, I say, don't do that.
Yeah, I thought that this was one of the.
I say, World Boss, don't ask for one for the road. You were brought here to lead.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought
the man was born to lead. And grade and see. Right? That is the best leader we ever see in 400 years. In Grenada. So, World Boss had to come back and lead Grenada. So, Mr. Man,
yes,
get his story right.
Yeah.
Gary was overthrown.
And people must know, Gary built 28 schools in 13 and a half years.
In 13 and a half years.
St. George's University.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre, I want to say like 1 hour we have. I want to say that a long time now. Yes, some people are called 1 hour we have and they want to stay on the line while you're talking. Yeah. Don't let them do that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes. 28 schools in 13 and a half years. St. George's University. Land for the landless. Independence program. technical education. Gary plant flowers, algorithm, you know. After that, they say, when they criticize Gary so much, he plant banana in Granitang too, you know. They say Gary mind bad as Granitang fig leaf. Because he win tight. It was one of the individuals that promoted sports, culture, action and progress. Yes, color. You have color in the line? So that's the reality. So coming back to Lennox Andrew, I will be the first to applaud you. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, for 2 seconds. The last caller that called, we don't want to go through a fight.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't go through it.
You misunderstand me when I talk about Gary. What I was saying, when Gary party dead, when Gary they overthrow him. But after that, the party could have never get back on foot again. Although he was one of the best leader we ever had. You know? Because nobody could not have seen a deputy.
I think it was more than that. The opposition against that party was you know.
Yes, opposition was really hard against Gary. And the only way to get rid of him, Mr. Pierre, the only way was to get rid of him was revolution, because they couldn't beat him at the poll. Remember when we had the alliance? Gary beat them 9-6, you know. I know most people remember that. So I don't want the caller get me wrong.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Don't get me wrong in that.
Okay.
Right.
All right, caller.
Okay then.
So, Mr. Lennox Andrew, I think you more than anybody could understand the struggle that this individual go with. And when I said she presented some receipts, and the parliamentary representative have all the receipts that she had, but she lost some of our receipts in the Great Fire too. Mr. Lennox Andrew, ask the parliamentary representative from Maribo. She's going to tell you about the Great Fire this family had. Great injustice was done to her. And she's on the poverty line. So I beg you, I understand you have a very good working relationship with the parliamentary representative from Maribo. And that representative keep records. So she will have all the receipts. And even the receipt that was paid to the surveyor, she have all of them. Even the letter that she sent to the individual, she have it too. So I want to beg you, Mr. Lennox Andrew, you have a good working relationship with that parliamentary representative for Maribo, the one that had done great injustice to the individual she sat on the same bench with. I beg you to please help her. And I'm going to continue to call you name and praise you periodically on radio. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, how are you?
Yes, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good topic this evening. And we need a sitting, not a representative, but a caretaker for St. David's, because it seems that those things, people are getting altered, those things like that, and seems as though, seeing that they...
What happened to Oliver Joseph? He has not been functioning as an individual that's still interested in politics? Oliver is relatively young too, has been very successful. He's not interested in getting running for the St. David's?
No, we need to if any representatives caretaker to put for St. David's. I believe they should start thinking about it and put it.
Okay.
Because the sitting prime minister was the representative, and
driving on the road, he's seeing the road break up, coming up Red Gate, Mango Hole, the concrete road, you have a piece of concrete there, vehicle park up, one area for vehicles pass, one there to stop, and the road is falling apart.
Well, the present representative, parliamentary representative for St. David's is also the Minister of Communication and Works. And is also the Prime Minister.
But I know that. Yeah. And then again, before the election was called, he had everything in place to fix Pata, Light Church Road and some other places, and come down in RealFM to get some trains and a road to go down by neighbor, and come and grade the road, and up to now nothing is doing, and everything was in the pipeline under the NNP to fix to control the water by me.
Yes.
And nothing is not doing about it. So I don't know what is that what the St. David people vote for? I don't believe so. All right.
Okay, my brother. Yes. So you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. One of the questions we ask is definitely targeting Mr. Lennox Andrew. And we have to continue to ask questions because we are not getting information readily. One of the policies of this government is information is based upon need to know. They believe that when they want to tell you things, they will tell you. So they have been very scarce, very conservative with press conference. They're not giving out information. Rumors and speculation is running wild. We're hearing a lot of things. Some of the things you're hearing, you're trying to do little research because you can't believe the extent of what you're hearing. We understand about 20 individuals, high-ranking NDC individuals have application for loan in GDB Bank. And not joke loan, you know. Big loans. Big loans. Because you know about 1/3 of the parliamentary representative have several $1 million in loan, millions of dollars in loan from GDB Bank. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller. So because of all this speculation, sometimes it don't have to be true. But when you hear the names that are applying for loan from GDB, then it must worry you. And you have to ask the question, why is the government plundering GDB Bank? Why they decide to be parasites on the bank? This must cause worry to the funders of the bank, because there are developmental agencies that will put money in GDB Bank, and we have to be concerned. And it's in times like that we appeal to the Minister of Finance, Dennis Cornwall, because obviously the GDB Bank may fall under his portfolio. Is he concerned? Is he supporting that? Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre.
Go, yes, caller.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Tell me something. Are we in a democratic state? Yes or no?
You shouldn't have to ask me that.
Well,
we just,
you see,
we just want...
a set of people talking nonsense.
Caller.
Listen to me.
Well, just as how you say we're in a democratic state, the next thing you say people talking nonsense.
Dr. didn't cause NNP to lose no election, huh? That is
Caller,
one for sure.
you just
Okay?
asking...
We in a democratic state.
Then
Nobody shouldn't be able to tell him when to run or not to run. It is a democracy. If anybody wants to contest the election with him for the NNP, that shouldn't be a problem.
They should, yeah. Yeah,
But he
I
should
agree
be
with you.
big enough to stand up there and face. Nobody shouldn't tell him, oh, you can't do that, or you can't do that,
I
or
agree with
you're
you,
too old, or
Carl.
you're too young. That's not their business.
I agree with you, Carl.
If
That
you
is
want
what
to
I
vote
call
for who you want to vote,
managing
that is up
the...
to you. You see, Mr. Pierre, I don't get annoyed sometimes.
Don't get annoyed, don't get annoyed.
Just hold on, listen to me.
But don't get annoyed, because if you get annoyed, you might say things you don't want to say.
What's happening to young people? You see what they're doing? You see what they're doing to the country? What are they doing to the country? Good. Stop this nonsense and hold your convention, no problem, and vote for who you want to vote. And when you're ready, he'll make a decision on what he decides to do.
I'm in full agreement with you, Carl.
So
We
that
must
is what I have to
manage
say, and I
democracy.
can't take on this stupidity.
But don't get vexed, don't get vexed.
All right, take care.
When we
Take
get
care.
angry, we may say things that we don't want to say. And that is the democracy. It's contentious. While people are saying what they want to say, they lobby in one time. You have to understand that, you know. So people taking a position, they're expressing their opinion, but at the same time, they're lobbying. So we have to understand that, and we have to try to take it with a pinch of salt and don't get too angry. We have to encourage individuals not to manage democracy. That is why you have elections. It must be open to all who is interested. Don't deny anybody, right? So when you have the convention and who want to contest the leadership, let them do that. It doesn't matter who win. Then everybody should join in and work together. That is what needs to happen. You see, our country is going down a trajectory that we have to be concerned. We have a government in power that decide not to provide information for people. And I don't know why the government is taking that position. I don't even understand the political benefit from that position. This government is taking some position that worries me because I don't see the political benefit. And when I'm in discussion with some individuals, they too are baffled. I look at the silence of Comrade Ray, my brother William Joseph, cousin Dan Lee, and these individuals who was so vocal and like to speak about democracy have absconded the political arena. They take flight. You can't find them. You're not hearing a comment from them. So it is worrying. I ask the question repeatedly. Who is the third party that is directing our foreign policy? Comrade Ray, not answering. My brother William Joseph, shut up. Cousin Danley, he take bush. Cultureman hitting me a low blow. So we're not hearing from these individuals. After 50 years of independence, if we found out that a third party is directing our foreign policy, we need to be worried. It seems to us that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Andal, has been emasculated. It's only time he will be domesticated for public ridicule. But right now, he has been emasculated. We are concerned, and we are appealing to the Minister of Finance, Mr. Dennis Cornwall. How could we plunder the Grenada Development Bank? Several of the parliamentary representatives are taking massive loans, $1 million plus from the bank. Based upon the age of these individuals and what they're taking the money for, no financial institution, no commercial financial institution would qualify them for such loans. And then we hear in a number NDC individuals are applying for huge loan from the GDP Bank, from the GDB Bank, Grenada Development Bank. We understand they have a board there that is a sham board, a rubber stamp. Once it's NDC that send them, they must get the loan. So we are concerned. Now, who will we go to ask questions? At one time, we thought Dr. Bob and our sister Callistra could have get answers from the minister, but it seems they like us. They can't get answers. So we must be concerned, and that's why we ask these questions. We appeal to people in the diaspora, those who like Ghana, but there seems not a concern. We are worried. We want to know how much is involved in the gracious offer that was given to our brother Ron. Now, he said it's a gracious offer. From the information we're getting on the ground, is between $60,000 to $100,000. Plus, he must not lose pocket as a result of moving away from cabinet. We're concerned about the gifts that was given to some members of the NDC. And some of these gifts is about $30,000 US. We believe these things are tantamount to bribery. We are concerned. And when we ask the local politicos of the NDC, they mouth zip. They can't speak. They seem as baffled as us. So that's why we ask questions. We concern. We don't want to see this country go back to a free fall. We are extremely concerned. We are worried. You know, we know that this government seems to have a policy that doesn't make economic sense. As of today, almost everybody in the country knows that the economy is not doing well. But the government is collecting enough money. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Peter is my boy. I don't mind Peter. But right now, to be honest, all they say now about Peter, I don't believe that. But the time will come. Peter time will come. He will come. But he has to humble himself also now because he's my boy. He in the race, but he has to take his time. The time will be there, and he will be well taken care of.
Are you a member of the party?
So, huh?
Because if you're not a paying member of the party, you can't vote.
I'm a member of the party. I'm a full-blood member.
Right. So remember, caller, a lot of people could talk, but the only people who could make a decision is those who are paid up members of the party.
I'm a foundation member.
Right, so nothing is wrong in talk. More and more the NNP...
I know everything about everything.
Yeah, but more and more these questions going to come up.
I know all the laws.
And NNP have to prepare to answer. The government is not answering questions. It's a whole new era in Grenada. You know?
It's people to make the decision. It's
all right.
to make the decision. All right, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller. It's a sad state we are in. Over the last 10 years, I thought we had the best attempt at democracy in our country. The regularity with which the government ministers under the NNP made themselves available to the press and to the public. The government changed, and this government is not giving information. They are practically insulting our people. The language has become common to describe our people is unacceptable, is shocking, is dismissive language, demeaning language, fractious language. The language that the NDC executive and hierarchy and the parliamentary representative so commonly use these days. Commoners, classless people. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, the pot seems to be getting hot.
I'm not hearing you.
The pot seems to be getting hot.
It depends on which pot you're speaking about.
The pot and the fire that's cooking.
All right. You have a lot of pot on fire.
Well, all of them are getting hot.
Well, that is good.
All of them are getting hot.
If the pot is getting hot, it means that the food is close to cook.
Not all the time.
All right.
All right.
Unless you don't have food in the pot.
Perhaps you have too much food so you're cooking.
Okay.
But let us realize that at this stage, people are going to start to get stampeded. We are in what we month now, April. May comes after that, June. And people are looking forward between now and June, at least the NMP personnel, for convention. If it doesn't come by that time, if something may happen with the boil over or whatnot. But as it is, people are concerned as to which direction the party going in terms of leadership. See me, I'm a stonewall NMP. But there are times that I do not support and I do not like what's happening. And this government, the present administration, is not answering questions as they are to questions in the parliament and answering. You ask them, you write them, they're not answering. And I don't know what the constitution says to force the parliamentarians.
The constitution, you can't force people to answer questions.
Right. So if you can't force them to answer questions, it means that the NMP have a very hard task.
But the NNP could well say that Deacon don't answer no question, but you want us to answer question. And that is what is dangerous in Grenada, you know.
Right.
Because government normally set the pace. And if you have a government now that not bothering anybody, don't answer any question, then the NNP ministers, the NNP parliamentary representative might well believe, well, we don't answer a question too.
Let's hope they don't, eh? But I mean, looking at it, Mr. Pierre, it is serious. It is serious at this point. We are 2 months away from June, and if people doesn't see some sort of action into the NMP by that time, it's going to worry a lot of people. Because as I said, there are a lot of questions to be answered. The government or the party in government, they are not answering them, and we have no means of getting them to answer the question. We have the integrity board. We never heard, since the integrity board set up, we never heard one case that they deal with. Mr. Pierre, that is important. Not one case that the integrity board dealt with that we hear. The integrity board dealt with marketing board, and they came up with some finding. And the NMP was trying to restructure it. The NDC came in, and the Prime Minister said that he had to close it down. And then he said, no, he going to have a talk with the farmers to see where to go. When the farmers give him the directive where they think he should go, he closed down the board, Mr. Pierre.
The manager now was disappointed.
That's right. He closed down the board. And what happened?
So it was a sham.
Right, yes.
All the consultation we said on the radio is just a sham. The
right.
Prime Minister make up his mind.
So, Mr. Pierre, we're going back into the same square one again. The Prime Minister tell us that the NMP get $50,000 on their own from some man that wanted passport. They asked him to prove it. The Prime Minister to prove it. The Prime Minister just say a word again. Nobody could get him to answer.
Now by now you convinced the Prime Minister line.
Well,
are you convinced now the Prime Minister lying?
Apart from the lie, who he answering to? He don't answer to nobody. So why he lie?
That is why we've been asking questions to the diaspora and to Dennis Connell.
Well, Dennis ain't answering neither.
Well, we still have to ask. That's you noticed this morning asking Lennox and Joe.
Yeah.
So we have to continue to probe and ask these men, because these men behaving like turkey cock where democracy is concerned. You hear me calling on my comrade Ray and William Joseph and cousin Danley? Well, we have to do that. We have to constantly asking.
Cousin Danley was getting vexed the other day, you know.
Well, yeah, even though he gets vexed,
he gets vexed. He said that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, if he couldn't get some hygiene, and he was blue vexed.
Well, that's because, you know, we are custom, so he must get vexed sometime. You think he could stand all these shootings all the time? Yes, Carl, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, we have to probe. The National Democratic Congress seems to be on a wrong trajectory. What they are doing is causing serious heartache at the lower level. They introduce a policy of restorative justice. And the time has come when Grenadians have to ask the different parliamentary representatives if they support political vengeance. Because that is what restorative justice is. It's vengeance. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar.
I heard someone talking about them member of NMP and member of NMP. But the NDC run a narrative concerning NMP convention. NMP convention is no problem in Grenada. Not a problem. You have enough problem in Grenada that we have to talk about it, not NMP convention. So, I watch it. Mr. Pierre, I always say.
But, caller, you see what we're talking about on the radio?
Yes.
And it is, and that's what happened. It's a nice distraction tactic and it's good strategy in politics. So rather than speak about what NDC is doing, so you find those NNP now trying to defend issues. And that is the purpose of this distraction.
But the NNPIs who say they have membership, they have to go off that.
Yeah, but caller, but you cannot blame, that is good strategy from NDC.
Yeah, but people like me and you, we have to debunk that strategy.
Well, yeah, but
and keep on talking about what's going on in the country.
You could always call on radio and speak about what you want to speak about.
Mr. Pierre, in the 80s, when first NMP come, I was a member of the MBPM. We brand Kit Mitchell as a CIA, you know. And when I catch myself, and I turn around, all them same man wrong in America where them CIA born and live in.
Yeah, all them communists in America.
Yeah. They run in America and go where the CIA born and where the CIA live in. Right? I class myself as a socialist. Right? And I will vote for a leader who will uplift the country, uplift poor people. Right? I don't follow up Ralph Gonzalez in St. Vincent. He elder Kit Mitchell, and he say he ain't going nowhere. He say he ain't going nowhere. I listen to my brother there talking about them. Oh, you have to go away. Did the man born a leader?
Carlo, what is your view on this restorative justice policy that the government implements?
Restorative justice is a crime against poor people. It's a crime. You always call the economic group poor people terrorists.
Yes, scholar.
Right?
I agree with you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, I think the time has come. We have given Deacon practically 2 years to explain what he means by restorative justice. And Deacon set up the MIT under Andy, the Deputy Prime Minister, to implement this policy of political vengeance. Yes, caller, welcome. Go right ahead, caller. Caller, you
Mr.
on?
Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah, quickly. Mr. Pierre, I would like the NMP the main office, because I was there recently. The NMP has what you call a constitution, a party constitution. And there are no copies in the office there, in the main office. And I'm talking from facts. I was there recently. They need to start printing these things. And if the members are to buy them and read it and understand it, they will understand what's going on. Secondly, I would like people to go and try to download the Gazette as often as possible. If they go and buy it, it's online, the government Gazette, because in this thing, people will understand what is at play here in Grenada, right? Because lately, we realize that a member of the PSC has resigned. People are resigning from these institutions, and the PSC controls, regulates the Public Life Integrity Act, right?
One of the union representatives?
No, man, a lawyer.
Okay.
So if people are resigning from that entity, it means that they are seeing corruption and they want no part of it. Mark my words. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, well, Public Service Commission has brought themselves into disrepute quite a while ago. I think it started with the fine of the labor, the labor commissioner and the Public Service Commission. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
And good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers. A very, very important and interesting discussion today, right? And I continue to urge, as you always do, right, for our callers and supporters of NNP to be tolerant. Let's open up a discussion about how we feel and don't, agree or argue with each other. Yes, we could disagree, We have different viewpoints and so, but the discussion is healthy. It makes us more a vibrant organization, right? It makes us more attentive, right, on what has to be done. When convention comes, right, the decisions will be made of leadership for the party. We have no fear about that. There is no problem with NNP and leadership and that sort of thing, right? The convention will come and delegates will have an opportunity to choose. But in the meantime, the discussion about the leadership and so on, who wants to run, yes, it is healthy, right? It makes us in the public as a party, right, to be vibrant and to be democratic when we have not one or two, but we have several persons who can lead at any point in time, and we must not be afraid of that, right? Let us express ourselves, how we feel, but we must,
yes,
and so.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Yeah, that's the end. We have one more caller? Yes, that's the end of the program. We would not have the last caller. Right, so just to sum up, we are worried. The government is not answering questions. And there are some issues that we're particularly interested in and will continue to ask those questions. Well, you have the extension tomorrow, Friday, with a master call, and we're back with you on Monday for another program of On Target. Thank you very much.